It's no use, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-host, Lauren and Bruce, and our guest, Kayla. And this is part 3 of Sonic 06. We have finished Sonic's campaign, and now we're moving on to another hedgehog, who is surely just as fast and capable and acrobatic as the first one.
I mean,
yeah, sure.
For real though, this is our discussion of Silver the Hedgehog's story, which I believe is probably, I don't know if I'd say it's the most broken, it's my least favorite.
It is aggressively itself.
It's certainly unique. I can't say it's not unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Which is ironic given that Silver is probably my favorite character in the Sonic series.
That is interesting.
Not because of this game, mind you.
Fair.
I've only played half of this so far, but honestly, I don't really have any major problems.
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna
honestly,
kill
the front
you.
half is, well, part of the front half is just kind of there, mostly.
Well, let's save it for once we get into the gameplay. Let's talk about the start of this so far, because we begin with good CG, just like Sonic did.
Always start strong and then fall hard.
Of course.
Yeah. This
so
game could have
yes,
just been a movie, maybe.
I would not be against that. I mean, that might make it better. I don't know. The story would still be bad.
With
but,
the same plot, though, yeah.
Sure. I'm not saying the plot would have been good, but at least we wouldn't have to play it.
You never know. People are seriously theorizing that there's gonna be a movie adapting some of the stuff from this game at some point.
Oh, I know, yeah. I know.
They'll have to change some things because they can't use Iblis, but
Well, yeah, of course.
anywho, we begin with Crisis City and Silver flying through the air saying how much the future sucks because it's destroyed by fire.
Yeah, seemingly just fire. Like, that's a really lame apocalypse. It's just like fire and brimstone.
Well, okay, it's a fire monster.
I know, but come on. It's still kind of underwhelming.
I don't know. This is, we had Chaos destroy a city. He was a water monster.
It's true.
That was just the city, though.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
true.
He didn't
Chaos
destroy the
only
whole
took
world,
out.
did he?
Well, we were
You
implying
didn't get
last
the chance
week.
to.
Admittedly, last week we were implying that neither has Iblis.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's very odd because he does get like attacked by like a weird fire swarm, and he blasts it with psychic energy because that's his whole thing. But then later we imply that actual Iblis is somewhere else. So I don't know what the hell that was.
I'm gonna be honest. I just realized now I must have ignored most of the cutscenes in this part of the story because I don't remember any of this.
That's fine. I'll remember for you.
I appreciate
It
it.
might have been just like, God, it happened with the Great Kanto earthquake. Like some buildings got set on fire, and then there was like really heavy winds.
Well, it's a
and it
fire.
almost...
A firestorm.
Yeah, that's probably what that was. Was just like some flames like
That makes
surging
sense.
up as a strong wind was coming through.
I think
Yeah,
the same
that's
thing
fair.
happened during the San Francisco earthquake, so that makes sense.
But yes, Iblis is of course the resulting monster from
The flames of disaster!
and is a constant threat here. He keeps popping up back and forth, and Silver has been just squashing it day in and day out to try and keep people safe.
Yeah, Silver might as well be a superhero, to be honest.
Well, I mean,
He's also kind of a dick.
well, I mean, we're doing, this is the point where I believe the original script to this game directly compares Silver to Future Trunks, which is funny because Future Trunks is
yeah.
very obviously trying to be Kyle Reese from Terminator.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a perpetual cycle.
I mean, yeah, it's almost like media takes inspiration from other media.
Yeah, nothing's original anymore.
Who's ripping off Sonic 06 though?
Oh, I'm sure you could find someone ripping off Sonic 06.
I was gonna say, give it some time. We'll
Yeah,
find
give it maybe
something.
another few years. We could find something.
Well, I think I was streaming earlier and we were talking about anime openings because we were talking about like one of the Sonic X openings and then the Rock the Dragon opening for Dragon Ball, and how now in a lot of like Western cartoons there's a lot of anime inspirations. I said something about
yeah.
how like, oh yeah, all the weebs are making cartoons now. So yeah, give it
mean,
like
they
10
are.
years. We might
Yeah,
get
the Sonic
something that's a
fans will
copy
be,
of Sonic 06.
The Sonic fans will be making games by that point.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Not before an interruption from Blaze the Cat, though, who exists here because reasons.
Yeah, I still don't get why she's here.
They thought that the future would be really cool because fire, and they're all about fire.
Oh,
See,
sure, okay, fair, yeah.
this is really hotly debated in the Sonic community because Blaze is from the Sol dimension, but she's just here, and this
Right.
is, you know, a lot of people came to the conclusion that Sonic 06 was retconning her backstory to just exist in the same future as Silver, but that's not the case.
But that's definitely not true.
No,
They
'cause we
said-
get new media where it's like, yeah, she's the princess of.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing. It's not even new media because this game's manual, its old website, the original script that I was just talking about, they all say that she is the princess of the Sol dimension. There's never a point where they imply
Fucking
she's from
hell.
the future. And we're going to see in here that she knows who Sonic is, which makes it
Right.
really friggin' weird that they never acknowledge each other. The two never even look at each other in this game.
You know, not to play devil's advocate, but it's possible that Blaze is from the future and then went and became Princess of the Soul Dimension and then came back.
Admittedly, it's also possible. There's just two Blazes.
That's true.
Doppelganger theory?
Well,
When did
no,
she learn who Sonic is, then?
Okay, that's the problem with the two Blaze theory. It's like the bigger Luke theory.
I was gonna say there is a fan theory that 06 and Rush were supposed to be, or like swapped in the timeline. So 06 happens first, and
Well, yeah, but we
We're
know
gonna,
that's not true.
we're gonna get into
We know
that.
the
I think we'll
ending for
leave that to
Blaze,
the
and-
end of Silver's
yeah,
story.
because it involves the end
Sure,
of
yeah,
Silver's
yeah.
story.
But yeah,
And if any of that is true, it was only true at the time this game was coming out and developed, because definitely now the canon answer is that Sonic Rush happens, something happens between there to get Blaze into Silver's future,
right.
and then the timeline continues.
Which
Um,
is all right. Sure.
My guess,
yeah.
here's my guess. At the end of Sonic Rush, Blaze kind of sort of realizes that she can see Sonic again with the power of the Sol Emeralds. They don't really explain it, but she says, "Oh, you know, I'll do that. I'll do something," and then the game ends. So I'm thinking she was aiming for Sonic's universe, and her aim was just a little off, and she kind of missed.
That's a better theory for sure.
That or she
yeah,
was pulled in
honestly.
by like Methuselah's power or something.
Yeah, maybe it was just Memphis.
Time fuckery tends to pull a lot of things together. That's why Crisis City is in Generations.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on. What the fuck are we doing? Right, Silver's Adventures in Crisis City. That's what we're doing. She says that the Iblis has appeared again, and Silver is going off to find him. So we're starting with Silver's first stage, Crisis City.
Wow.
Way
what
better
a-
now.
I mean, for
Well,
the
you
most
don't
part,
have to
yeah.
do any boarding or mock speed sections, but I still don't.
Exactly.
It's
Way
automatically
better.
10 times better.
That is true.
I still don't
Um,
like his gameplay because
Yeah.
Silver's whole thing is, well, for one, he's quite slow, and for another, he has no physical attacks. His entire gameplay is formulated around walking into an enemy encounter, finding objects to pick up, and hurling them at the enemy with his telekinesis, psychokinesis.
I mean, he kind of has a physical attack. He can bitch slap.
Yeah, but that only stuns enemies to be picked up, so it's not.
Yeah, but you know.
And also, he has
Still an
no
attack.
range.
And
Even
that's
if-
an upgrade.
No, he has terrible range on his slap.
So I have no problems with anything that you just said. You say Silver is slow. I say he's at a good speed. Like, I don't accidentally run off of ledges because I tried to move forward for 1 millisecond too long anymore.
Me
No
playing with
physical
the Sonic
attacks.
Speed mod.
That's okay, because throwing stuff around is really fun. Like, I have a blast
Ugh.
chucking stuff at enemies. It's great.
I
I
when it
don't.
works.
I see.
The
My
lock-on's
thing.
terrible.
My thing is that if you ever pick up multiple objects, and you're going to want to do that because enemies still have health bars and there's still a lot of them, so you're going to want to pick up a bunch of stuff and then throw it in quick succession. But if you do that, it's going to bounce off of it in midair, and that's going to result in it either losing speed or losing. I don't know if it just puts it in a damage enemy state when you throw it or what, but I don't know. And the targeting is about as reliable as Shadow the Hedgehog's guns in the 2005 game.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I found that targeting to be way better.
Maybe. I don't know. It's
Well,
just
because Shadow actually locks onto things most of the time. Silver 90% of the time throws it 3 miles away from what you were trying to hit.
Honestly, except during the bosses, I didn't really have problem with the aim.
Well, okay. For the most part with Silver, you can just avoid the enemies anyway. There's very few
Exactly,
spots
that's
so
true
far
too.
that you have to actually kill all the enemies. So that's
I guess that's
fine.
probably not a sign of good game design, but
No,
maybe
no, I'm
maybe
not.
if you're
I'm
running
not
through these
saying
trying to,
that's good.
it's
I don't
just
know. Silver can also kind of break enemies a lot of the time. Doesn't work so well with these fire demons, but with robots, you can just
The
even an
robots are.
undefeated
Yeah, no, you're right.
robots are pitiful to
They
Silver.
are, yeah.
Like even an undefeated robot, you can just stun and then throw away, or just throw another robot to get a double defeat. The big robots, when they get in their stun state, Silver can just like destroy them. You don't have to keep beating
Right.
them up. He makes fighting robots really easy. The fire demons, yeah, not as nice. I'll admit.
Yeah.
This isn't the best stage to show him off, but he deals with enemies really easily if they're robots in later stages.
see
Well, and the robots also help because they give you something to just hit them with. The fire demons, I don't think do.
it's not that like nothing about it works. My problem with this, and this is my problem even in Project 06, is that I like Sonic games for the thrills, and Silver doesn't feel thrilling to me. And I think it's that, you know, this combat is, when it works at its best, is just very simplistic. You know, and the whole reason for this is 2004, Half-Life 2 comes out. It has a physics engine and a gravity gun that launches objects at enemies, and everybody thought that's revolutionary. Changed the FPS genre forever. And Sonic Team started designing their own FPS based around psychic powers and hurling things at stuff. And that game turned out to be terrible, and development on it was a complete nightmare, so they just scrapped that and reincorporated that into Sonic 06. But I don't think that that's
Which is a
conducive
shame.
for high-speed platforming. It leaves Silver just feeling weak to me.
Also,
Um,
admittedly, Silver's gameplay is not high-speed platforming anyway. His
I know.
natural speed is way too slow for that.
I think that's what Devin's trying to say, is that
that's
in
what a
comparison
Sonic
to
game
like
should be to
Sonic
me.
and in
Oh,
comparison
yeah,
to
no,
Sonic and
you're
Shadow,
right.
Silver feels slow.
No, that's not wrong.
Well,
I know we're no fans of Sonic's combat, but at least in Sonic's combat, it doesn't feel like I'm doing it for very long at a time. They throw more enemies at Silver, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
It kind of feels like he kind of gets more enemies.
I think he gets more enemies bunched up.
Honestly, with Sonic, you've got to you homing attack an enemy and then bounce up, and then you have to wait and then homing attack them again, and then bounce up and then wait and then homing attack them again. I'd rather just throw a million objects around. It's just I like it more. And as for the high speed stuff, that's true, but like Sonic is supposed to be high speed.
Well, maybe
But
you
because
weren't
I'm
using the
bad,
bounce attack on enough of the big
I
guys.
always take it slow anyway. So like I'm
You know
basically
what,
playing Silver the
also-
same way I always do.
To be fair, also, we say Sonic is supposed to be high speed. If you look at the, Adventure 1 and 2, none of the other characters were particularly high speed, other than Sonic and Shadow.
In Sonic Adventure
True.
1, Tails and Knuckles could still go fast. Tails was literally
They could
meant
still
to go
fast,
He was
but
raised.
Tails, bad example. Knuckles, Amy, and Big, none of their gameplay is meant to be going fast.
Yeah,
Amy was still
and
fun to play though.
I don't love that about those games either, actually.
I'm sorry,
Got it.
Kayla, you saying that just hit me with like a wave of psychic damage.
Good.
I agree with you,
Suffer.
Kayla. Don't worry.
Lauren and
another
I agreed on
positive-
something for once.
Anyway,
Another positive of playing Silver is his telekinetic flight,
that is
combined
neat.
with their jump that feels, I don't know, higher maybe? It feels easier
does,
to jump
yeah.
around
Yeah.
with Silver, and with the telekinetic flight, platforming is really no issue.
Yeah, platforming was, well, I would say that, but again, I played with the Sonic Speed mod, which was probably a mistake.
Wow, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
probably gonna
say
turn that off in the
that Sonic
second half.
06's general sensitive, jittery control is less of a problem at lower speed.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
that's
can
the
definitely
reason that
see
Sonic
how
is slower in
Silver's
this
lower
game than any
speed.
other Sonic game. I don't know.
Maybe?
Certainly, if you made him as fast in this game as he is in fucking Unleashed, that would be a nightmare to control.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As for Crisis City, Silver goes through some different areas than Sonic's, and you have these recurring sort of gimmicks where you either have to throw objects to break down walls or press the right trigger
Block
on
the
these glowing
ground.
buttons on the ground. They're not
Yeah,
buttons.
It's like
but
using the Force in Lego Star Wars.
It's basically exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And my dumbass forgot I had to do that, so I just kept trying on literally the first one in the first room. I kept trying to just like fly between the two spots. So Cool.
It's the context sensitive make gameplay happen button.
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of.
quite pointless actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really no different than, a scripted spline in Sonic's. Which I guess Silver doesn't really have any of those because he's not fast enough to run through loops.
Ooh.
I would also argue that scripted splines are pointless.
Kind of, yeah.
They can be visually captivating though, which
Oh yeah, they're visually cool, but all they do is just give you a time to like drink some water.
yeah, so I don't know.
Relevant to Crisis City, I hate the random debris that locks onto you like it's sniping you all the time.
It is sniping you. The giant fire tornado that you're seeing in the level is Iblis.
I got kind of a fun story about random objects.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do tell.
This was back when I was first playing 06. Devin, you might remember this story. I had messaged you how I clicked to restart the stage, so I was on the pause menu, I hit to restart, and a truck came out of nowhere and hit Silver anyways. So I had messaged you, I got hit by a truck. I'm trying to remember what your reply was, because this was like shortly after I got hit by a car in real life too. So it's just like,
I think you're misremembering. I think you got hit by a car in real life, and you said, I got hit by a truck, and I said, what game were you playing?
oh, I am misremembering. But
Yeah.
I think I had messaged you about the Silver bit before I got hit by a car, which is probably why you thought
That's
I got
probably, yeah.
hit by a car in a game. And I'm like, no, Devin, in real life, I
Yeah,
got hit by
I
a
remember.
car.
Sorry you got hit by a car, by the way.
It
I don't
was
know
How
if I
like
ever
12
said
years
that to you
ago.
like 10
That
years
was like
ago.
12 years ago, something like that.
I
Hey,
fucking
better late than
said
never.
that.
Oh my god.
Anyway. Hey, here's something notable. This game contains the only playable 3D appearance of Blaze the Cat, and she's probably one of the better characters in the game.
Yeah.
Once you get used to the
yeah.
acrobatics, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's
my only gripe, and it's a big one actually, is the lack of homing attack.
Joshi has one.
What? I can't
Yeah.
get it to work.
Oh,
press the
you have
X
to hit X.
button, but
If
yeah,
you're on a controller.
she doesn't have a homing attack on the
Oh,
jump
yeah.
button. She has it on the attack button.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Why
press
would they
A
do
and then
that? That's
X.
stupid.
That's a good fucking question.
Because she already
I
has
think
a
that's
double
how it
jump
is.
on the jump button.
Oh, that's right.
Plus,
She
I
has a
think
double
that's how it
jump.
is in Unleashed for Xbox, isn't it? You jump and then you hit the
Yes,
attack
it
button.
is.
It's not
That's
a double.
how it is in every version
and
of
press.
Unleashed on HD, but it's also what Sonic
Okay.
Frontiers does because that game has a double jump.
Right.
And yeah, it's also a homing attack that you can use from the ground, which is really weird.
Yes.
Hmm.
No, yeah. Once Devin pointed out that she actually had one, immediately playing as Blaze became like 5 times more fun.
Yeah, okay, I'll know that for the future, I guess.
Yeah, just remember it's on the attack button.
She also has this like fire spin thing if you hold the X button, but I don't like
Yeah, I think I
using it.
ignored that.
I don't like using it to fight
Not very
enemies
useful.
because it only lasts a limited amount of time, and I'm worried that it's just gonna run out and I'll just run
Mhm.
into an enemy.
Yep.
But yeah, Blaze injects some much needed speed into the equation for about, I don't know, a minute and a half,
Yeah.
and then you're back to Silver. It's like you have the shackles taken off for just a moment, and then they're put back on.
No problem here.
Yeah. Yeah, at least
Anywho.
one of us enjoys Silver.
But let's move along. I think we're probably covered Crisis City pretty well.
Silver's floating pose on the results screen is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me 13 minutes and I still got a B rank.
Remember
A
what
lot
rank
of
I
those
got.
minutes were just you forgetting that you have to use the resonance on the
Yeah,
rebar to start.
the first 3 minutes. Yeah, the first 3 minutes was me being an idiot. But the fact that it still took me 10 minutes after that and I still got a B rank.
But after this level, we finally reach our first boss of the game, Silver's only unique boss. He fights it twice, but it's
Ooh.
one boss, let's be honest.
Mm.
This is the big monster form of Iblis, no longer a worm. It's a big dude.
Good.
A whole man.
The whole bro.
It really is.
And despite being much more visually intimidating than that stupid worm thing, this
He
boss
is
is way
piss
easier.
easy.
He is dead simple to fight.
Hey, it's piss easy, but
I
it's
disagree. Well, okay,
Oh,
it
what?
depends on how you define easy. Like trivial, I guess, but it's annoying.
well,
It's
yeah, it's
slow
definitely
to
annoying
fight.
because
It's not fast.
it makes you wait.
He
It's
attacks.
definitely annoying, but it's trivial as hell.
He attacks. It creates debris. You chuck it at his head and pray to the gods that it hits him, and that's it.
Yeah, I
Yep,
think there was a
basically.
few times where like Silver threw an object like a mile away from something.
Oh
like,
yeah, same.
A manual
Yeah,
lock-on would fix both this and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I have no issues hitting regular enemies, but this boss, yeah, is completely inconsistent. Also, his like meteor attack, I can't dodge it ever. It's impossible. It will always hit you.
I think I
Meteor
got hit a
attack I
single
can
time.
dodge.
Yeah.
I can't dodge the building when he like takes the
The building is
skyscraper.
so easy to dodge.
Yeah, that one's
Listen,
easy.
I was trying to run across the stage and it would still squish me. I'm like, how do I outrun this thing?
Damn.
The game
Okay.
also probably
Wow.
heard me talking shit about it and was just like, fuck you.
Another problem with this is the boss is only like vulnerable for a limited time, and then his
Oh,
head
yeah.
just raises again, and like I barely have time to pick up objects and throw them in that period of time.
Yeah, that's why I just threw as many objects as I could whenever I wanted to, figuring at some point the damage would actually happen.
Yeah, basically that's this whole boss.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of guesswork, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not saying it's a good. Devin and I didn't say it was a good boss. We just said it was a fairly simple boss.
Like I'm gonna be honest, I prefer the worm.
Ugh.
Ooh, okay.
No. Yeah, there's not much progression though.
Maybe
you know,
not fought as silver though.
you couldn't
Yeah.
fight it at silver.
Oh, you don't? Okay, never mind. then.
Thank fucking
You
God.
said it was the Chaos 4. I had higher expectations.
That's
Well,
true.
you
You
don't-
did.
You fight Chaos 4 as 3 out of 6 characters, and you fight this one as 2 out of 3 characters. So
Okay, you're right. I guess you're right. I was
anyway,
wrong.
yeah, there's not much progression to the fight. You just you hit him, and eventually his armor breaks off. But that's just visual. He looks so naked
Yeah.
without the rock armor.
He looks absolutely silly.
I kind of hate how he looks without the rock armor.
What's that one fan-made Godzilla that you absolutely hate, Bruce?
Oh
Godzilla
God.
Bloodbath? He
Yeah, it
like
looks
that.
so stupid.
Mm.
Looks like Mr. Burns.
Okay. Well,
You know what? Iblis looks like Mr. Burns now.
Oh my
Doesn't
God,
make any
so he should
sense.
Think of.
But
all right,
you
all right.
know.
Time to move on. Time to control the kids. You beat him, his health is at 0, he sinks into the lava. Oh boy, the day is saved. No, not really. As we see in this next cutscene, this has apparently been going on for a while. Blaze has this sort of mentor role to Silver, which is weird because they're the same age.
Same age, and Blaze. It's not like Blaze has like psychic powers.
But
What exactly is she teaching Silver?
She's teaching him to be more confident in himself, and I say that legitimately because I think that's the only thing that she really gives him. She calls him naive a couple times in this game, so I guess just...
I mean, this Silver already seems plenty confident in himself. He's such an asshole.
not confident, I guess.
No, he's
I don't
just
know,
very,
more
like Devin
worldly?
said, naive.
Yeah, that seems more like it.
What's the opposite of naivete? I don't know. Silver, we'll get to it. I'm
I
very
don't know what
annoyed
the
by
right
the
word
way
would be,
that
but
they write these characters.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, the two of them have been following Iblis's appearance, smushing them where they can, I guess to keep him from hurting people, but you can never
Yeah.
defeat it permanently because gods are immortal. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
Also, I like this conveniently placed bit of debris in the cutscene for Silver to smack his hand on. As soon as you're looking for it, it feels very obvious how separate it is from the wall.
Yeah, we couldn't have just put Silver a little closer to the wall.
Anyway, here's fake Shadow the Hedgehog to talk in your Twitter replies like a Final Fantasy villain.
Okay.
Do you think he would say "milady" to someone?
Yes.
Okay. Real talk. We do need to make sure that we're not just like copying the Snapcube shtick of making him the dude bro reply guy online gamer.
No, I'm
But it's
just
true.
like actually asking. Like, do you think he would do that?
And my answer is yes.
This is Mephiles, everybody. This is Mephiles the
Okay.
whatever. He's a guy who looks like Shadow for some reason, and he has
Guy
no
that
mouth,
exists.
and he can travel through
I have a
time.
scream.
Damn, I wanted to say that.
Time travel's so cheap now. All you need is 2 Chaos Emeralds or a demon or a machine made by Greg.
Yep.
Everybody can time travel in this game. Everybody has access
Honestly,
to something.
yeah. It's fucking stupid.
Is there any point
is.
in Sonic Adventure 1 where Big the Cat has 2 Chaos Emeralds? Because I like the idea of a time-traveling Big the Cat.
Is there a point
That's
he
why
gets
he's
one
everywhere
Chaos
in Adventure
Emerald?
2.
No, that's why he's in the
total-
Arabian Nights in Sonic and the Secret Rings.
You know, this isn't a real Sonic Adventure game because you don't
He's
see
in
Big
Secret Rings.
fishing in lava.
That's true. You don't see Big period. Yeah, that's how you know it's not a real a Sonic Adventure game.
Yes, Kelly, he is in Secret Rings as background level cameo.
That means Secret Rings is an adventure game.
Ah, yeah, Secret Rings is Adventure 3.
Yeah, that's secretly Adventure 3.
Anyway,
Crack the code, guys.
Hell yeah.
Mephiles is here, being obviously evil to us, but not to them apparently. But he's telling Silver and Blaze, there must be some way that Iblis came to exist. Therefore, my time travel powers can help you go back in time and stop it from being created.
I don't remember
guess.
exactly what Silver asked. I think it might be, do you really know who the Iblis trigger is? And there's just this slow zoom into Mephiles' face. It's really drawn out. It's hilarious.
That would imply that he absolutely does not know who it is.
He just has like a cork
Which-
board with everybody's faces on it, and he threw a dart at it and was like, all right, we're blaming him.
My God.
But now we get the other side of this scene from Sonic's story. He takes him into the computer room. This is where we saw Sonic spying on them before. But Mephiles tells us, the world was destroyed 3 days after the Soliana Festival by someone called the Iblis Trigger. Anyway, look at my cool purple Chaos Emerald. Also, it's very funny. You know, his way of convincing Silver that Sonic is the Iblis Trigger is going to destroy the world is just to show him covered in fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly an interesting way to do it.
I see it!
A blue hedgehog. And Blaze is like, a blue hedgehog? Probably nothing.
Must have been the wind.
This is the problem with Sonic world design, is that if you had been showing us that human populations and animal person populations exist en masse in different places in the world, which is the canon answer, but you only ever see humans in these games unless they're directly relevant NPCs, you would be able to convince me that, like, maybe there's a lot of blue hedgehogs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
being blue and a hedgehog was never the thing that made Sonic unique in universe. It was him being fast.
Yeah, it's a speed.
Tell that to Sonic the comic.
Okay, fair.
Well, that's not canon. Imagine trying to reconcile the canon of that with this.
Easy.
Maybe Iblis was
Remember,
a
this
Dracon
game
too.
erases itself.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe Iblis was a Dracon too. But yes, and worth noting, you know, we are saying that thing about Blue Hedgehog, blah blah blah. Blaze does not see the same vision as Silver, so that's why she only hears Blue Hedgehog and goes, If she had seen it, then absolutely it would make no sense.
Yeah, she does a
Real.
big thonk there, but
But Silver agrees. He says, "All right, let's go kill this guy." And Mephiles is like, "Great, we'll take my car." And he transports the three of them through time with the power of basic jump cuts.
I love
the
animation.
ultimate power. He has the ultimate power of editing software.
You should hire Mephiles.
Yeah, I'll get him to do
Work on
these
the
for me.
videos.
The-
Yeah.
the,
There you
the
go.
weird thing is, you know, he teleports them away all at the same time. Except in the past, they all arrive in different places.
Yeah.
That's how time
What's
travel
going on
works.
there?
Full and reliable. Doesn't matter who's using it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
my
that's fair.
best guess would be that maybe Mephiles is actually deliberately separating Silver and Blaze, since if Blaze goes with Silver and sees that it's Sonic, she would not want to kill him.
But then he could have just been like, I can only take one of you.
Yeah,
True.
well, what reason did he have to send Blaze back with her anyway? So, I don't know.
Exactly.
What reason did Sonic Team have to have Blaze in this game?
Good question.
Yep. Because
but-
they're cool, I guess.
I mean, they are cool.
Silver arrives in his first hub world, which is the forest area. It's the worst
Welcome to the
possible
tech
hub
demo.
he could be given, because it's the biggest, emptiest one, and he's the slowest.
This is where I started crashing out playing the game.
Of course.
It took
We're
me.
like- We're
I
like
got
20 minutes
lost.
into Silver's story.
I got lost. I couldn't find the entrance for the next stage. I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
wandered around for like 20 to 30 minutes, going in loops.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
terrible.
Two of them.
I at least had Devin.
I had to go get alcohol to cope.
Yeah, I at least had a Devin to guide me.
I had like a text guide up and it said follow the NPCs. I'm like, okay, sure, that sounds easy. It didn't work.
There's one specific NPC that will tell you where the entrance is, and thank God I found him. But
After
again,
liquor was
after like
obtained, right?
after liquor was obtained.
Of course.
There are like a lot of NPCs standing around here for like no reason too. It's very strange.
I know.
I
They
don't.
could have at least made it look like it was a tourist spot or something.
Yeah, this is what I
Well,
was
there's
saying.
like
Is
a
like
family.
Well, yeah, but family doesn't.
place some like
Mm.
some like food trucks around. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, give us a
Or
hot
like
dog truck.
picnic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, slow ass hub world, but you have to levitate some platforms across the lake to get to Silver's next stage, which is Tropical Jungle. And hey, we're in an area we never
Yes.
went to with Sonic.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
damn.
And
Yeah.
it's like what they do an actual adventure game.
Game has big shoes to fill, doesn't it? And it doesn't. But the
Yeah.
ruins area, I don't mind the stage too much. You know, it's flooded ruins. You've
Yeah.
got some giant turtles going back and forth. I think that from an environmental standpoint, it's one of the better looking stages.
Yeah, I don't think I had any major issues with this stage.
I would like to point
I
out,
did have some issues with chugging. Mainly like when I had to go attack enemies, my would drop down frames
That's because
severely.
Oh,
you were
yeah,
playing on the
slowdown's awful.
360.
Yeah, I
okay,
am playing original hardware.
I didn't mention it because it kind of goes without saying at this point, but
Sure, yeah.
Silver's story kind of lags one of the worst of all the stories because if you pick up too many objects, and by too many I mean like 3, then yeah, the game starts to choke.
Yeah. That's
It's
just
pretty
a
bad.
problem. That's kind of just an issue in general with that era of games. That was still early on in that. Well, no, that was still it was still early on in that generation, and the transition to HD development was a nightmare for most developers.
Something worth mentioning, Silver recognizes what a turtle is, so there are turtles in the future.
My
Fire
God,
turtles.
Tommy Turtle is still alive there.
It's got to be it.
He's
You
lived
better
all those
believe
years.
it. I do like this level pretty nicely. It's very open. There's like a lot of directions you can go in, and I mean there's a lot of things around. There's turtles to sort of ride around the bottom on. Obviously, Silver's psychokinesis helps too, but you can kind of skip over parts as well. So I think there's potential for like. Well, this game is a buggy mess, so that automatically makes it potential for speedrun. But I think this stage even more so.
Oh, Silver
Yeah.
Story speedruns are crazy because there is an exploit
Imagine.
where Silver can pick up an object, you know, with his normal grab to throw mechanics, but also jump on top of it, and that just sends him
Oh,
flying
yeah.
across the map.
Right.
So
I see, yeah.
I didn't use that yet. I did later, but not to that degree. I thought when you are on top of an object, you can levitate with it, but it still uses your energy and it just lifts you a little bit. So it's like
That part
a
is normal.
boost
That part
upward.
is fine.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, because even with that, you can still. It feels like you can skip parts.
And that is probably, I think, the best ability that Silver has by default, because that actually allows for creativity in platforming.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, this stage is very non-linear, to the point where you might not know which direction the goal is at first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a little lost at certain parts, but it was okay.
Yeah, there were a couple spots I got lost, but once again, I had a Devin guiding me, so
I
when he
think my
actually
main-
decided he was going to help me,
I mean, I was just watching, but yeah.
that's true.
I would say my main issue is the unreliability of stuff again, because like you have those big wooden fences or like barricades that you have to throw stuff at, and sometimes you hit it and it just doesn't work.
I didn't
Or
really have any problems.
the swinging logs that you have to use the residence signs on, and like the big stone ball is so weird. You have to hit a big stone ball with a swinging log at one point, and it just doinks off like it's made out of styrofoam.
Yeah, when you try to knock objects around, it doesn't work very well. Remember this for later. But you don't have to do that very much in this stage, luckily. The
Yeah.
logs are a little strange. It's like the physics don't work. When you try to jump off of them, it doesn't preserve your momentum. But then again, jumping always screws momentum in this game.
Yeah, nothing preserves their momentum. So yeah, it's all right. It's I like it better than the first stage for the most part. Although the lack of Blaze is not. Anyway, hey, here's Blaze.
Yeah, just suddenly Blaze.
It's really weird because we get to see where she ended up, and where she ended up is at the top of the hill at the start of Sonic's part of Wave Ocean, and it's so weird because when the camera moves out, you see that this is like a big cylindrical mountain with just a bunch of houses on top.
It's a great place to live.
Yeah,
Who
gotta be
lives here?
self-sufficient.
I will say one of Blaze's lines here does support the confusion about where they're from because they are like, so this is the past, like they haven't been in this time before.
Yeah, I would say also
Yeah.
that maybe she didn't even know where she was when she ended up there.
Maybe.
Oh, I guess.
That would be one more reason that she doesn't know the blue hedgehog is Sonic, is that she doesn't know that it was Sonic's world's future that she was in.
So what? She thought she fell in a different dimension than Sonic's dimension?
I guess. I mean, if you thought that you were going down to, like, Milwaukee or something, and then it turned out to be consumed by fire, you would probably assume that it wasn't Milwaukee at first.
I suppose so.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know why I chose Milwaukee, but that was just the first city near us that I could name.
That was an interesting choice. I kind of appreciate it.
Also, it's like, yes, that creates confusion, but then at the start of the stage, she says, "Blue hedgehog. Oh no, I've got to find silver." So it's like clearly she still keeps that in her mind.
Yeah.
Very, very
She'll
weird.
forget it
writing
again
choices.
later, though.
Yeah. He's like, I shouldn't have let him go alone. He's stupid. I have to find him. Anyway, that means that we play through Wave Ocean as Blaze, which is good because she's basically very similar to Sonic, but doesn't have any of Sonic's baggage.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yep.
this was honestly more fun than playing as Sonic.
Definitely.
This might have
I
been
mean,
the only S rank I've gotten.
It threw me off that it's just like suddenly we're playing as Blaze, but yeah.
Yeah. But once you
I'm
actually
not
get into it, it's like,
complaining.
oh, Blaze is fun.
The game kind of grabbed me by the throat and was just like, "You're not done yet," and then it's like, "Here's Blaze."
It's also a lot shorter than Sonic's. It ends at the place where Tails' starts, I believe.
So we're close to it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And no Mach speed section, which is the real reason that this story is better.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, no mock speed.
Veterans of this game's history also know that the grind rail at the top of the lighthouse is one place where Blaze's homing attack can
Oh,
send her
yeah.
flying out into the stratosphere and potentially even crash the game.
I wanted
Excellent.
to do it
Yeah.
so bad,
I
but at
considered
that
doing
point,
it.
I struggled so much with Tropical Jungle. Like, towards the end of that level, I just kept dying. Like, I just was not focusing. So I got
Mm.
to that part, and I was like, I want to try it, but I only have 1 life left, and I don't feel like restarting. So I just played as normal.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I tried to get it to happen. You'll see in the video that I'm trying to get it to happen, but I couldn't get it.
I didn't even bother trying because I'd forgotten about it at the time.
But yeah, so that was 2 levels of characters just going to places.
That's just
Yeah,
what game,
basically.
It really is a lot
Kinda,
of this game, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, at least in the next cutscene, we see the start of Sonic's story, where Silver called him the Illustrator from the intro, and it's very weird because Silver like reels back with his arm like he's about to snipe Sonic with his hand, and this is one of the weird things because Silver can create energy balls in this game, but only in the cutscenes.
Yeah, because that would be too much fun for us.
But
I
either
mean,
way,
in
this is,
SA2, Sonic could use Sonic Wind, and you can't when you're Sonic.
I guess,
Fair.
yeah. Either way, that's a really far distance to hit him compared to every other time he tries in this game.
Well, it's because after this, when he messes it up, he's like, I better be more careful.
Yeah.
Be closer.
Although then he misses the first time he does take a shot at Sonic, so either way, he misses his chance here because he's jumped on by a random Amy Rose.
How did she get on the rooftop?
Good question.
Why is she on the rooftop?
Good question.
Good question. Well, it's like, you had all that commotion with Sonic saving the princess from the festival, and I would assume that that would be what clued Amy in, like how she would, be following Sonic. Somehow she doesn't see him when he's running through all that, but no, this random other guy standing inconspicuously on a rooftop. That's who I'm gonna mistake for Sonic, even though he looks even less like Sonic than Shadow did.
It's darker than it looks.
Yeah, you know
Apparently,
what?
yeah.
Sure.
His fur is like glowing in the dark.
He's
He's literally
when he
silver.
uses his powers.
Okay, that's kind of true.
It's funny
Amy's
because
just stupid.
there was a
Just
Tails 2
stupid.
episode where Tails makes fun of Amy for mistaking Shadow for Sonic, and she said the sun was in my eyes. So it's like,
Ah,
It's
yes.
nighttime.
yeah, I guess Amy just needs some prescription glasses.
Was she just staring at the moon and then looked over and was like, "Oh yeah, that's Sonic."
The conspicuously not blown in half moon. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not
It's
not a
just
thing
the
I can
half
leverage
that's not
against this game.
exploded.
Yeah, it's the half that's still fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
rotated. Remember?
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Izuka, all 3 of you. This also starts a running joke where Amy mistakes somebody for Sonic, and then when she realizes her mistake, slaps them in the face.
Damn, Amy, that's pretty rude.
What is your problem? It's Dark Age, Amy.
She's
Yeah,
actually
that's
not
the
that
problem.
bad here. Like,
It's not. She really
anything
isn't
is
that
better
bad.
than psychotic Amy.
She's
Well, sure.
yeah, she's not like a violent monster in this game.
No.
Yeah, she's actually just
She's just
overly
a little-
friendly for the most part, which I kind of find funny.
I was gonna say she's
Sure, yeah.
just a little ditzy.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's a bit of an airhead.
Just a little bit.
it is very
But
much
she's
still
still
2000s
sweet.
Amy, but she's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
She is looking for Sonic, and I I suppose she could have heard that he's in this country. It's very convenient that every character seems to be converging on one location. But I guess that's video games
That's
for you.
true. Yeah.
But
It's like
Silver
when
says,
you're
"I'm
playing D. I was gonna say it's like when you're playing D&D and the DM's just like, all right, everybody meets at a tavern.
Oh, the way I
Yeah.
GM.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
It's very funny though because Silver is looking for someone, Amy is looking for Sonic. Conveniently, they decide, hey, how about we look for our friends together? And they're like, sure. Okay, well, Amy thinks they're friends, but conveniently, neither of them state any traits about the person they're looking for when they make this alliance.
Well, maybe it
I
goes
mean,
back to
Silver's
your
drawn into
theory
it
of
basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Amy definitely says like, oh, you know, we're doing this, and Silver's like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're looking for a guy, don't you want to tell the person who's helping you what they're like? You know, Silver could have said, I'm looking for a blue hedgehog, and he would just be like, oh, that might be Sonic. But that doesn't happen.
Well, okay, remember, Silver is looking for someone to kill them. I don't know that he would really want to talk about it that
Fair
much.
enough, fair enough. Amy's side of
fair.
things, though, is, have you seen Sonic? Silver would be like, who the fuck is Sonic? And then would come, he's a blue hedgehog, maybe. I don't know.
I just don't think he cares that much and would rather get rid of Amy, but he's not forceful enough to shove her away or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
Blaze is
probably
entering
true.
on, telling Amy to fuck off. Anyway, in gameplay, this manifests as walking around the castle town talking to NPCs, and they keep telling you Sonic went to the desert.
This is when I learned you can psychic blast NPCs.
Oh, yeah.
You
work out some
blast
aggression.
NPCs?
Yeah, I did it on accident. I'm like, oh, huh.
Neat. I gotta remember that.
Which I might add, in addition to waiting for morning, also waited for Sonic and Tails to go all the way through Wave Ocean.
Oh yeah.
The timing in this game about time travel is very strange.
Well, it's like, what were Silver and Amy doing all night?
they have
Just having a chat.
they have Minecraft time cycles in
A
this game.
chat where the physical traits of the people they're
God.
looking for conveniently
Their
never
ti-
come up.
God, their time cycles are like 20 minutes? Jesus, that sounds awful.
It does sound awful.
Anyway, this is where that get a pass to the desert thing rears its head again.
Oh yeah.
You have to talk to some gondoliers for the location of Lord Regis.
Oh, I just happened to find him by luck.
I think I did also. I don't think I paid attention to what anyone told me.
Okay, well, lucky
I
you guys.
sniffed the old
I didn't
man out.
remember. I didn't
Don't
remember where
say
Sir
that,
Topham Hatt
Kayla.
was.
Jesus.
I had a guy that told me where he was, except it was wrong, so I still had to look for him.
Yeah. You have
Oh my
to.
God.
You have to go to the door to the forest. It's very funny that this town has a door to a forest. Yeah, he's there and he's like, oh, well, I'd love to let you into the desert, but there's robots attacking the forest. That's what I imagine his voice is like.
Well, if it's Sir Topham Hat, that's not what he sounds like.
You know, I don't know shit about Thomas the Tank Engine lore, and I don't care to learn.
It sound like George Carlin
Really?
or Ringo Starr. Yeah, George Carlin did did most
He
of
did.
the English
Yeah.
voice work for, or the American voice work for Thomas the Tank Engine.
It's surreal
And-
hearing that man swear after watching Thomas for so long.
Okay, well, you know what? That is interesting. I didn't expect that. Anyway, now you have to do a mission fighting a bunch of robots at the forest.
Yeah, it takes like 2 minutes. 3
Yeah,
minutes,
it's,
I don't know.
It's more fighting. I don't have anything
It
to say
is,
about it.
it is just a waste of time.
It was fun enough. Like I said, I like the combat with
well,
Silver, so
yeah,
no issue.
I don't think it was bad. Yeah,
Good
it's
for all
mostly...
the people that aren't me. But yes, that
Yeah.
gets you past the desert, so you go there.
Yeah,
And Amy says, my girlish intuition led me there. No, it didn't. We asked people in town.
Amy's compensating.
She said that she felt Sonic there. It's her girlish intuition.
What?
Yeah, no,
I mean, this
Amy's
is
just
one of
lying.
several references that Amy's like, I have a psychic connection with Sonic. She brought that up in Sonic X as well, because this is the Sonic X game.
Yep, it's both Sonic X and Sonic the comic somehow. It all links together.
You're
all
the one
comes
putting Sonic the
together.
comic in there.
Everything is canon.
God, don't remind me of that phrase. But yes, like
this
Lauren was
is
saying,
the scene.
yeah, Silver's like, why am I wasting my time on this? I wonder too, Silver. But this is the part where he remarks on how people are happy here. The sky isn't covered in fire.
I like how he says this in the desert. instead of, at the open green field.
True.
The
True,
desert
yeah.
probably the closest thing in this current timeline that resembles Crisis City.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They should have ended up in the
Well.
Windows XP desktop from Sonic Story.
Yeah, then that would have made more sense for him to be like, it's
It
so
would've,
green
yeah.
here.
Screw it. Give Silver and Amy the shipping scenes. Why not?
Oh
Oh.
God.
Listen, if it gets her to stop obsessing over Sonic, I'm happy with Amy to be with almost anybody.
Okay.
Anyway,
Like,
I'm
throw that freak at anybody.
Look,
call her a
remember,
freak.
Sonic the comic is canon, so they already have somebody.
of course
Oh yeah, that's
Techno.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
poor Tech-
Techno's just back at home.
Anyway, let's get off this weird tangent. We now have Silver's version of Dusty Desert, also known as the one with the billiard balls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
They show up in the first room and the last room. Everything in between is kind of just filler. But
Yeah.
actually, no. There's one thing. We'll get to that. But
The ball puzzle at the start is not hard, but it is long and boring.
they move really slow.
I didn't find it to be that long. They do move slow, but it only took me like 2 tries just because I was dumb on the first try.
Well,
Yeah,
like
same
like
here.
many things, you're beholden to havoc physics. So whether they go
That
in
is
fast or
true.
slow can be kind of a dice toss.
That's fair.
And you can't pick them up with your psychokinesis. You can only slap them around.
And they
That's
don't move
really
very quickly when you
fucky.
do, in my experience.
No, they don't move particularly quickly. I actually kind of prefer them not moving fast because that makes it easier to like kind of control them.
And Lauren, did your walkthrough tell you that you can charge up Silver's slap?
No, I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah, that'll make him move faster.
Congratulations, now you do.
Oh, okay.
It's still not good. Don't worry.
Don't worry, it still sucks, but it'll suck slightly less.
I don't know if this is on purpose. Probably not. It's probably a bug. But the numbers on the billiard balls, they just count down randomly sometimes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I think they tick down on a timer, but they also tick down when you hit them.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
Yeah, it is.
This level also has the annoying rooms full of sand waves, which I just...
It
I was
wasn't that
absolutely
annoying.
shocked that you didn't die when you touched the sand floor.
I expected that, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I was
Silver...
expecting that at some point too.
Well, because the outside level is full of sand that you just fall through, but not this one, apparently.
Yeah. No,
And-
honestly, the sand rooms weren't that bad.
I was about to say, they're not that bad. Silver gets by okay because he can hover. When you get to these with Shadow,
Sure.
they're really annoying.
Oh, I can imagine that, yeah.
When we-
Overall, like, Silver stages don't murder you for no reason a lot of the time.
No, yeah,
Which
so
is part of
Silver
why
stages
I
aren't
don't have
too
a
bad.
problem with his gameplay all that much. Because with Sonic, I was always
Mm,
fearing
so-
for running out of lives and having to redo a whole
Mhm.
bunch. With Silver, that was not really an issue, at least so far.
Fair, yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that might be an experience difference. It might be the fact that you don't have infinite lives turned on, and Bruce did, and I'm good enough to not
Yeah.
need them.
Yeah, Devin's too much of a gamer to need them.
Bragging much.
Well, okay, let's talk about something that I'm pretty sure none of us enjoyed. Level is also notable for being the only one in the main set of stages where you play as Amy Rose. And wow.
That was stupid.
Can I say my
Ye-
hot take again?
Okay.
I was fine playing as Amy.
She's
Ooh.
so
Not that bad.
slow.
It's not that bad. Stop
She
being
has
a
no
baby.
range. She has no
Stop being-
fucking range with her hammer.
Her
Stop
double
being a
jump
baby.
has like
So-
no lateral movement.
She can turn invisible for no reason.
What?
Oh, you didn't have
Yeah,
access.
I
He doesn't
did-
know.
Admittedly, I didn't know until Devin told me to do it.
Okay, anyway, I didn't have problems playing Amy's sections,
Oh,
but I was just like,
yeah.
wow, they ruined the gameplay. So Amy plays way better in Adventure 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like, give me the hammer flip for God's sake. No, you just do it, brings you to a stop and has small range right in front of you. Now, the hammer's
I
boring.
think
I,
that's
don't
the
even
only
use
thing I
it.
hated about the hammer. It was just like you can't flip with it and move forward with it to attack enemies. You have to be like right on top of the enemy to use it.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
It's-
that's the
yeah.
only gripe I have. Other than that, I'm like playing as Amy was fine.
And what? Okay, it's not that it's impossible to do anything
No.
with Amy. It's not that it
It was just
doesn't understand.
annoying.
She's just not fun at all.
Yeah.
Lauren and I are just Team Amy Rose now.
Okay,
I don't-
okay, cream and big.
I mean,
Oh my god.
Ooh.
which of you is which? You decide.
Yeah, that's up to you guys.
I do have more fun playing Blaze or Silver in this story, but it's not Knuckles. That's for sure. Like
It
the
kind of
worst
is
character.
Knuckles. I don't know.
No, Amy doesn't
Not
get
real.
stuck to walls.
No. Nah, Amy's better than Knuckles at least.
I don't get stuck to walls that much in this.
Well, good for you.
Congratulations, you're the one who has the most
Sorry.
experience with it.
Anyway,
I don't understand why they gave Amy a ludicrously high jump in this game, though. Like, when was that part of her character?
Good question.
I think this was the first game to give Amy. Well, I think her normal jump is the same height as everybody else's, and it's the double jump that goes high.
Oh, yeah, okay, yes, that's what I meant. But, like, it's way higher than, like, Blaze's double jump, for instance.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
you'd think that would be useful for something, but no. The fact that she just it's like you're jamming the control stick so hard, and she has no momentum in midair.
It's on the second jump specifically, so you have to be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she like freezes up in midair basically.
And
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. This was the first game to give her a double jump as an ability, and it's funny because that became her thing in subsequent games. Because that's her
That's
thing in
interesting.
Superstars. That's her thing in Frontiers. She has a triple jump. Friggin' Rise Up Lyric does that.
I never played her in Frontiers.
Anywho, yeah. So it's not great. And paradoxically, holding the X button gives Amy the ability to turn invisible.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, how would you know it?
What and why would they give that? That's never been a thing that she does.
No. What?
Did they plan for the Chaotix to be in this game and like, oh, we had this scrapped ability for Espio?
You know what? I could see that.
As far as I
Does
know, there were
turning
never any
invisible
plans to be in this.
do anything for her?
It just makes
Yes.
her able to avoid enemies.
Enemies
Okay.
have AI in this game. They have to notice you to attack you, and if they
Yeah, it's like Metal Gear.
don't notice you, they're sitting ducks.
So like, yeah, there's
And-
reasoning.
And importantly,
But-
they don't move, which means they're less likely to cause contact damage when you try to hit them with your hammer.
Sure.
Very, very bad look for the game when it leaves me relieved to be playing as Silver again.
Another sand room section, though. In this section, there are some spike balls really near the checkpoint, and one time I died, and the game decided to kill me instantly upon respawning.
Ooh.
Oof. Havoc
Got
physics.
spawn camped by the game.
Yeah,
Damn.
exactly.
I will say, I like the atmosphere of the indoor part of the level better than the outdoor. I really like the inside music. It's very chilled out beats. Really feels like you're
You know what?
exploring deep inside an
You
ancient
know what?
temple.
Once again, I don't think I noticed any of the music.
I do
Which
like
is weird.
the music here. I prefer the outdoor music, but this one is nice as well.
There's been ups and downs to this level. Let's talk about a big down. This is the final part of the level. This is the part everybody remembers about this game in Silver Story. This is the ball puzzle. It's the billiard ball puzzle.
I
think
mean-
it only took me like 2 tries to do it.
Yeah, it took
but-
me 2 tries.
You guys are ruining the fun
What?
of getting mad about this game.
The heck? How?
Yeah,
How?
it was like kind of easy.
Pretty easy, yeah. The only reason why
See-
it took me 2 tries is because I just wasn't paying attention to the ball at the end and to the hole right before the
Same.
ending.
Yeah, you
But
have
like
to get.
Really?
doing it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, honestly, you guys kind of hyped it up. It was kind of easy.
I couldn't every time it went near the boxes, it was a dice roll where I would accidentally pick up the boxes and then they'd collide with the ball and then it counts down all the numbers instantly and then try again, loser.
Why are you picking up the boxes?
I'm not, but I try to blast and then it picks up the boxes, which fly into the ball instantly.
Try to.
Wait, isn't Silver's slap thing on the X button?
What?
Or am I going crazy?
Yeah, his,
Every-
his
Yeah.
slap is on the X button.
Maybe I don't know how to I'll
And then
operate
his
the slap
pickup
correctly.
is like on the right bumper?
Yeah.
on the right
What
bumper.
are you doing, Lauren?
I don't know.
Are
I
you-
don't have the game right in front of me right now, but maybe I don't know how to operate the
Are
The
you
blast
holding the
correctly.
R button to do the slap at the same time?
I don't know. The game doesn't explain the controls.
That's true, it
That's fair.
doesn't.
It doesn't. I
hmm.
think I was just operating off a muscle memory.
That wasn't the only problem. The other problem, of course, is that the ball is inconsistent because the physics are Sonic 06 physics.
The
Yeah.
main villain of this
Yeah.
section is the frigging ridges on the walls because it'll bounce off of those and directly into the pit.
Oh yeah, so often. Also, it would just barely fall into the pit because it felt like it when I was near the edge. Yeah, I did this like 10 times because I'm like, is it not that hard? Okay, yes, it is that hard. And then I skipped it by clipping through the door.
Okay,
I was
yeah, I did the
about
door
to
clip
bring
too.
up the glitch thing. Yeah, I didn't know about the door glitch thing until someone in my chat brought it up, and I was like, oh well, I already solved the puzzle, so
Yeah, Devin mentioned it to me, and I just said wait to tell me after I give it a few tries, and then I did it on my second try.
Well, that's the value of this show, is that we have very varied experiences with the games. They still shouldn't have made this puzzle. It's still stupid. I think even if the physics worked, I wouldn't like it.
I mean, no, it's not a good puzzle, but
Yeah.
It's also really stupid to put at the end of a stage.
Yeah.
Like this would have been more appropriate in like a mission or something.
Yeah. By the end of this level, Sonic is revealed to already be gone, meaning that once again, the entire level was completely pointless.
yay!
This entire game is just stalling for characters to get to other characters.
Yeah,
It's been more than half of the campaign at this point.
yeah,
It makes me appreciate a lot of the effort that did go into coordinating the stories in Adventure 1 and 2, because each campaign in those had its own distinct voice. Even if they weren't all perfect, the stories were ultimately pretty simple, but they could be focused, They also didn't try to force every level into every story campaign, which I'm guessing is a big reason why there's so much posturing. Because really, realistically, why would Big need to go to Skydeck? It doesn't make sense to me.
why would Big need to go anywhere in that game?
Okay, fair enough. Bad
Find
example.
He needs to find Froggy.
Skydeck
that's the
doesn't even have
reason.
water.
I guess, yeah, fair.
Actually, you go to Skydeck. You have a limited time to find Froggy in some water before the egg carrier launches, and the water just flies off, and the frog too.
Yeah.
So, Silver and Amy return to Castletown, and finally, well, I guess Amy just disappears for a second, because that's what happens when this game needs plot to happen.
Mhm.
But finally, the fight from Sonic's campaign is going to play out. We get to take control of Silver during the battle, and it is comparatively laughably easy.
It's
God,
the best
yes.
boss in
Melt
the
Sonics.
game.
Honestly, yeah, it probably is the best boss in the game.
And you know what? That's what you want. Because, as Sonic, it was a nightmare, and the whole point is supposed to be
Yeah.
that Silver is beating Sonic here. Sonic's
Yeah.
cutscene had a whole extra section where Silver catches him off guard. But when you beat this one, you just jump right to the part where you've already won.
Right.
Yeah, this is crazy. Honestly, going into this fight, I was like bracing myself, like it's gonna be bad somehow because
That's
this
what I
is
was thinking.
Sonic
Yeah.
06, and then it was over like 2 seconds, and then I was
Yeah.
like, yes, catharsis at last.
Yeah,
This
30
is
seconds. The game still didn't give me an S rank.
This is genuinely one of the better designed moments, and I'm not even sure if it was on purpose, because it still feels kind of broken. Silver so often, for me, runs into what I call the werehog problem, which is where Sonic Team, in designing a new character for gameplay that they want to seem strong, gives that character a lot of combat, which ultimately leads to them taking longer to beat the same enemies as Sonic, which means that they feel weaker by comparison. But here you feel powerful because you can just pick up a bunch of chairs and go bap, bap, bap.
What did I say earlier? You can just like pick up like 10 chairs and a table and break
Yeah,
Sonic's neck with them.
Yeah, melt him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just shreds through his health. I can see a
Mhm.
worse designed version of this boss where he has like invincibility frames and
Ooh,
garbage
yeah.
like that.
Oh my
But
god.
they actually had restraint here, which is impressive.
Yeah. Sonic, he takes way too long to charge a homing attack is one thing. And you can just grab him like in Silver's boss fight if you do hit him. You can't really throw him against the walls of the skybox, so the fantasy isn't quite as real as I wish. But
I tried doing that. I did grab him at some point. I was trying to like throw him, but the game wouldn't let me. I'm like,
I have
okay.
no idea what the actual point of grabbing him is. It doesn't seem to do anything.
Because it's no
Much.
use.
No use.
Yeah, but like this is the most fun I had with the game in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
After this boss, I was definitely feeling a lot better because like getting
you got
lost
to-
in the
you got to beat
forest
up
and then
Sonic.
playing Tropical Jungle, I was just like mauling. But then, the Desert Temple level wasn't that bad. And then yeah, beating Sonic up in like 40 seconds was just beautiful, amazing.
Desert
10 out of
Temple
10.
level wasn't that bad because you did the box clip.
No, I didn't.
No,
Oh,
she's
you
just
were the
that
ones who
good,
did it legit,
remember?
right? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
Kayla
then
and I
you're
did it
crazy.
legit.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna kill you now.
I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, I never
I
thought
think
though
Tom's gonna
that
beat my ass.
it's crazy to think that I'm actually happy that they did this like the classic rival fights from Sonic Adventure though.
The ones that you
Yeah.
can just like spam.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah,
it
fair.
it is crazy. This wasn't exactly how I expected this episode to go. I didn't think that Lauren would continue liking Silver after Sonic's campaign, but
I mean, hey, if we can
But-
continue liking Silver, so be it.
but it's funny because we're all in agreement about this. This is the first episode of this playthrough so far that has ended on a universally positive note.
That's true. It's crazy.
Interesting.
And look how much shorter this is. When we're, it's like maybe
Oh, God,
maybe
yeah.
we're,
Reached an hour and a half.
maybe
Wow.
some of us are suffering with Silver. The goodwill from some parts of this has made for a shorter episode.
Interesting.
I just think the interesting thing is like I remember when I was younger, I didn't mind Silver's campaign, but yeah, now playing through it, I was just like, I absolutely hate this. But I'm hoping with the next half, I'll change my mind.
I'm hoping that Lauren changes his mind in the next half. No,
You
no,
want me to not have fun?
no, I'm
You want
kidding.
that-
I'm kidding. I
To
mean, a little
suffer
bit,
with
yes,
us.
but
Jesus.
next time on Deep Dive Zone, we're gonna do the second half of Silver's story, and honestly, now I'm not sure. We're in uncharted territory here. This isn't going how I thought it would, which means that
Yeah.
there is the potential
Positivity.
that anything could happen. Maybe we'll love it. Maybe we'll hate it. We probably won't love it. Lauren, I'm assuming that even you, as someone who prefers Silver's gameplay over Sonic so far, are not thinking this is like better than a good Sonic game.
No, I don't love it. I mean, like I said, the lag is still ridiculous, but at least there's fun. Whereas, like, I'm not really having fun other times. It's like I can get through this or I can't. But here it's like, okay, yeah, that's kind of fun.
All right, so we don't have to tear the brain out of your skull just yet. But with all that said, thank you to my co-hosts for being here, and thank you to you, the viewers, for watching, because that is where we're going to be done for tonight. If you like this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can find us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We will see you next week for another one. I hope you have a great rest of your week, a great rest of your night, and take care.